Welcome back everyone. You're watching the training week from June 23rd and also June 30th. We're going to do 2 weeks in this video. In this week, comp was over, so we had a bit of a rest from routines, and you're about to see the first send-off. So I mentioned this last time, we're doing some triples from Chinese tap, which for me is quite foreign, and we sent a triple pike. I've never done that before, fam. Turned 34 on Monday and throwing new skills on Tuesday. Bit of a straddle in that third somersault there. Caused me to go a bit sideways. That one was a bit cleaner. So yeah, the Chinese tap triple. So if you've been kind of following my gymnastics life from when I was a kid, I used to do triple back just from a regular giant. You know, I'd speed up the giant before the dismount, put some power into it, but no you know, Chinese or Japanese tap action, whatever you call it. I think it should be Chinese tap because I think it was Tom Fei who popularized that tap, but don't know for sure. So anyway, you know the tap I'm talking about. And there was only one day, maybe about 5-6 years ago, that I tried to do a triple back from Chinese tap into the pit. Just one day, because I wanted to try full twist and triple back. I might actually still have clips of it somewhere, but I landed literally like the same way I land my double back fulls from P-bar. That's how I landed on the full twist and triple, just on a little white mat in the pit. And here's what I've discovered. You'll see me working some deeper taps here and there because I'm just arching way too early. I'm arching pretty much at horizontal at the worst. Before horizontal, I'm already arching for the dismount tap. So I've been working some deeper taps, and with a double layout dismount or a double out full dismount, you're kicking and you're scooping your toes up towards the ceiling. So, you know, your trajectory is going to be kind of up and away. But with triple backs, there has to be this phase of opening up before you tuck it in or pike it in if you're doing a triple pike. It's similar to, you know, if you're doing a triple back off rings, you have to push the rings back and open your body quite a bit. Otherwise, you won't be able to grab your knees or your shins. And it's a similar principle here. If you're unfamiliar with it, check out some videos of triple backs, whether it's on rings or off high bar, and you'll notice that when the tap happens or when the release happens on rings, the gymnast will open their body close to a straight line, and that makes it much easier to get into a deeper tuck and flip really fast. Otherwise, it's just way too much G-force and you literally cannot reach your legs to tuck or pike. So what that open position does, because you're more open and your feet and your legs are way more in front of you rather than above you, that changes your trajectory, right? It makes you go more forwards from the bar. So immediately I was like, man, I'm tapping deeper than usual, but why am I flying more forwards? And it's because when doing triples, because of that technique where you open up on the tap, you got to take it quite deep. So I was watching Noah Quavita's triple pike, and man, you see he arches like literally almost at vertical under the bar. If you're doing a double layout, you're probably going to land on the bar with that sort of a depth. But still, you travel forwards because your legs are facing more forwards upon release, if that makes sense. So all to say, gotta tap deeper if I'm trying to get this triple back. And it's a hard habit to change, especially when you're doing decades of earlier Chinese taps, you know, those safety mechanisms that take you away from the bar. You don't want to land back on the bar, they kick in and it feels scary. So a little bit more depth there in that giant. Didn't travel forward as much, but even that is you know, pretty far. Even that's pretty far, because if that was to be a triple back, it's going to go, as you're about to see, even further. So another play area has been layout Gaylord 2. Now I didn't do those for the first couple weeks, so you won't see it in this video. You'll see it in the next training week. And I've actually connected a couple stoop half layout Gaylord 2s, not catch, more like catching with my feet because it's so difficult to get enough height to get a Gaylord 2 around the to clear the bar just from a handstand without the giant. But we'll talk about that more next week when we see it on video. Was it today or was it? So it was short weeks because we had a couple of weekend competitions. I also got a little bit sick. I think actually after this Tuesday, if we're still watching Tuesday, I got a bit sick. So I didn't do too much training and it ended up being a couple of lighter weeks for me. And you know, those weekly lows the following Monday, actually I think this is the Monday. Yes it is. Because I remember I had a nice and hearty tumble session, and right after this turn I was warming up flares on the mushroom, just a low mushroom. And as I pushed off the ground to get into just a single flare, the knee subluxus fam, the knee goes out and in, pops out and in. Minor but still painful. So here I'm already I'm already injured. So no landings for a wee while, no tumbling, no vault, just on a simple takeoff into a flare. So with my shallow patella grooves, I got to be extra careful. Maybe I was a bit tired after all that tumbling, I don't know. So that's what happened. Nothing much else comes to mind. I've been working away at cleaning up my peach and the giant DME. But with the tweaked knee, you know, everything feels just a bit more difficult. And it was at the end of this day I did a double layout. I was going to do some more dismounts into the pit, but the tap of the double layout was pretty sharp, so I actually had to just forego doing anything big on high bar. That's right, I worked a lot on stoop halves. I worked a lot of stoop halves. I'd really like to, you know, in the next month get to the point where I can catch square without straddling my legs. I don't even mind if it's a little bit crooked, you know. I'm reminded of Danelle Lever's stoop halves, where he would always shoot to the side, but at the top he would just square himself up just using simple arm strength. Now I gotta say, that depth was better. That was a much better depth, but it kind of hurt the knee, so I didn't do any more and just worked on a lot of stoop halves. What does it take, fam? What does it take? I think what it takes is I need to pull longer with both arms and much harder. There's one additional thing. I kind of did it there. When I feel like my hips are flipping backwards upon the initiation of the stoop half, that's when I get the best ones. That's when I get the best ones. So it's a combination of pulling firmly with both arms. Well, that was a bit more decent. Combined with like throwing the hips backwards as if I'm doing a backflip. Those seem to be my best ones. But man, I'm getting tired of that mistake. Getting tired of that legs apart. That was more like it. And man, I did a lot today. Must have been confident in my lower back. Any giant DMEs today? So if you didn't catch on, this is the second week we're already watching. We had CSG, was it this week? Or the previous weekend? We had CSG, probably the biggest gymnastics event in New Zealand, besides our national championships. It was great to see everybody there. Then the following weekend we had North Harbour, so I've been a busy coach. Not competing in those ones, obviously, just coaching. So big congratulations and well done to anyone that competed there. Always proud of the boys, always proud of the boys. And I think because I'm still competing, it makes me a little bit too compassionate as a coach, because every time in a competition I'm just reminded how difficult it actually is. No matter how prepared you are, a competition just hits different. It feels different. So much respect to anyone that's competing. And that's pretty much it, fam. So nothing too fun besides those triple pikes this time around. Gotta mention, strength felt a bit weaker. You're gonna see me fail at an Azerian. But next week will be also a bit more fun with some of those layout Gaylord 2s. So at this stage, kind of getting back into routines now. I think today I might actually try the layout Gaylord 2 in a routine, but not to spoil it, we'll save it for the following week or two. There's the fail. I think that was an attempt at 6 or 7 kgs in the vest, plus whatever the weight vest weighs, probably another kg or 2. Inverted cross with the ankle weights, trying to shock the system. So thank you for watching, all the best, and until next time.